Hello, my name is Sarah and I'm back again already. Can you believe it? I only filmed and uploaded a video last week and I edited it myself. That is why it was the editing was poor compared to normal. I don't know how to edit anything I do out, but I learned how to add a picture on my phone and reverse the image. But yes, so I thought keep the momentum going, trying to motivate myself to read and do stuff that I enjoy. So I'm going to be doing a May TBR. Now, this TBR is one of two things. It is either hugely optimistic, and we love optimism, it's great to be positive, or two, it's wildly delusional, and it might be a number two in this case. I'm not saying that I have a TBR that is higher for the month of May than the rest of the books I've read combined in the year. You know, weird things have happened. And maybe I'll do it. We can but try. So the reason I'm doing a TBR, I don't normally, but I'm part of a lovely little Discord group where it started off as like a buddy reading, making sure we actually read our own books. And it's kind of turned into a sort of crazy area where we sometimes read, sometimes talk rubbish. Actually, the talking rubbish is actually quite high. But it started off, and we do lots of buddy reads on there. And our lovely Eleanor, who has created a readathon for us for May, and she did these cool things where she gave us clues which are wildly too intelligent for my little pea brain, and we had to work out what the prompts were. And yeah, it's really cool. I will put a little picture because I know how. And yes, so there is 9 prompts, and I've read 11 books this year. Yes, I haven't finished anything since I last spoke to you, but I have been reading. I'm trying very hard. But yes, there's 9 books. And my aim is to have 9 individual books. But if by the end of the month, I clearly am going to fail this, I will double up. So I'm going to prioritise books first that will cover a couple of prompts, so I can feel some sense of accomplishment. But the aim is to read 9, and there is also a couple of other books which I will get to at the end if I remember to talk about. But yes, let's start with the readathon. So I've got my dragon notebook. I've prepared a bit this time. Last week I just filmed randomly, off the cuff, made a huge mess, had a lovely time. So the first prompt is timey-wimey, and for this I am going to aim to read This Is How You Lose the Time War, and hopefully as a buddy read. And it's quite small. I believe it's gay, which I could double up on if I fail later, but I'll go through all the prompts and then I'll tell you where I could double up. Yeah, so that's the first one, timey-wimey, kind of self-explanatory, Doctor Who reference. A cover by. Now the thing is with me is that I am superficial, but not really with books. Like, I like a beautiful book, don't get me wrong, but because I like to buy lots of second-hand books, I take what I can get. If there's 2 books next to each other that I want and they're exactly the same but the edition's different, obviously I'll pick the one I like more. But I otherwise just don't really care what the cover looks like. I've got some terrible, ugly editions, which people would probably go, oh no, not on my shelf. But also I'm really into 1970s colours. Like, my special wall is orange and brown and gold and stuff like that. That's my jam. I wish to be in the 70s. Either the 1870s or the 1970s, to be fair. Both those are my style. Anyway, cover by. So I was like, well, what sort of covers do I like? And one of them is this one, which is a bit of a cheat. This is The Once and Future Sex by Eleanor Yanega, going medieval on women's roles in society. I would have bought this anyway because, one, I have previously read from the author. I've read her book, The Middle Ages, A Graphic History, which is really fun. So it's a literal graphic history novel, not novel, non-fiction, about the Middle Ages. And also it's got sex in the title, and I've got a whole sex history shelf. But this is more, I think, about like roles women had in the medieval society. But I love this cover. I love medieval art, you know, like the illuminated manuscripts, that sort of stuff. And it's a beautiful cover for me anyway. Free the nips, etc. And another one you're going to say, that's not particularly like a beautiful cover. But when I saw the colours, I thought, oh, that looks like 60s or 70s style. And it is. It's set in the 1970s. Can you see a theme? So this is Upstairs at the Party by Linda Grant. I've previously read The Dark Circle by her, which I really enjoyed. I haven't read anything else since. And it says, in the early 70s, a glamorous and androgynous couple known as Evie/Stevie appear out of nowhere on the isolated concrete campus of a new university. And I just like books set in the 70s. And it's just the colour scheme for me, which is what made it, again, not really a cover buy, but it's what made me, because it's secondhand, made me see it on a shelf and go, oh, hello, I might read you. I mean, I haven't yet, but it's the aim. But yes, so those will, what are those? Don't know. Next, animal in title or on the cover, and for that I'm going for the White Octopus Hotel. And I'm sorry, I did not write down the name of the authors of the ones which I'm reading on my e-reader. This is, this would fit with timey-wimey as well, actually. So it's about a woman and who, I don't even know how to describe it, to be honest. There's like a time element, there's a hotel where she's in the current time period. She meets a man who's got the same name as her favourite musician who disappeared decades ago, and it's very mysterious, and he gives her a white octopus. Did I say white elephant or white octopus earlier? It's a white octopus, whatever. A white octopus. And basically they're from the past but also from the future. This is a problem where you don't have a physical copy in front of you and you've not read it. But I got it when it was 99p and I started it and I was like, yes, I like this. I like it a lot. I kind of like that sort of time skip element and also what feels like a love element. I like love. Is that like, that's like the old way, and then there's like the youth people, the youngsters. do it a weird way. Anyway, I like love. Anyway, so I'm going to read that one. Next, have the word of in the title. And for that, I'm going for The Lady of the Lake. I've already started this. I'm like 30-something% of the way through. This is a Sapphic Arthurian retelling. And I really enjoy it so far. I've got into like Arthurian stuff, and I'm quite new in the area, and I really enjoy it so far. I've not read anything by Jean before, have I? No, I haven't, but I'm really enjoying it. And I like that there's a sapphic element, and yeah, it's like ticking all my boxes so far. It's the most I've read in like one sitting for a while. I think I read like about 100 pages yesterday, which for me is sensational progress. Sensational. So that's good. I'm cheating, by the way. I'm trying to start what I can now in the hope that I'll finish anything. I just want to finish some books. I just want to feel accomplished. So that is my of title. And this one was a poll pick. And I'm so indecisive. I did 2 polls. I did a poll for them to pick a genre from me to pick from. And I think I chose niche non-fiction, classic crime like Agatha Christie, Dorothy L. Sayers, that sort of era, contemporary romance or historical romance. And the winner was niche non-fiction. And then I had to pick, I gave them like 10 choices. Decision making is not a strong point of mine, I have to say. And they chose The Book Forger, which I'm really excited about. And I should have guessed they would pick because it's about books, and we allegedly like to read books. And yeah, this is about a It sort of fits into my sort of like crime interest in non-fiction, in like, so last year I read quite a lot about stealing, and so this, while this isn't stealing, I suppose in a way it's like stealing intellectual property, book forging. You know, kind of in my brain, them two sort of, they like would go next to each other on a shelf. I can't remember, I haven't read it yet, I can't remember the details, but I think it was a very high profile case a few decades ago about a man who just forged a load of books. I'm guessing like rare books, like saying, oh look, Shakespeare's got a new one out and it's called like The Love Hypothesis. No, Shakespeare didn't write Love. There's just things that come into my brain, and the things I'm not going to be able to edit out because I don't know how to, because we're too busy to get Editing Fairy to edit for me. But I really wanted to do videos. But Editing Fairy will be back when we have time. But yes, so I'm looking forward to that. Next up, we have Published by a Small Press, which I think is a great one. And I haven't decided on this one yet either. I have some options. This is the one that I would really like to read, but I don't know if realistically it's going to happen. And that's Big Time by Jordan Prosser, which is published by Dead Ink. And this is a music book, which is one of my ticks. But what I really like is that it says, in the not too distant future, Australia's eastern states have become the world's newest autocracy, a place where pop music is propaganda, science is the enemy, and moral indecency is punished with indefinite detention. And there's also like a new designer drug, and it sounds so good. It sounds so good. And it's actually not quite as big as it looks. I think it looks quite big, but it's only about 340 pages. But this is the one I'd most like to read. And doesn't that go beautifully with me? It's like, it's not set in the 70s, but you know what I mean, it gives that sort of like vibe. Actually, another Dead Ink option is Dead Relatives short story collection by Lucy McKnight Hardy. I previously read by her The Water Shall Refuse Them, which honestly I didn't like. I freaked me out a bit, not in like a scary way, but like in an anxiety way. The plots, some of the plot lines in it, like, freaked me out. And also I just thought it was a bit underdeveloped, but I'm a minority, but I liked her writing. And yeah, this is a short story collection, Spooky Dooky. I love a Spooky Dooky short story. I think you can really do a lot with a short story in this genre, with like the horror and the gothic and the creepy. I just think you can really do it well if you're skilled, and I feel like she will do that well. And the other option is another music book, and this is The Arena of the Unwell by Liam Connerman, which was published by 404 Inc. Now, have they gone bust? Not bust, they've like quit. So, you know, the 404 Inklings, they've stopped, so I assume the whole publisher has stopped. I'm unsure. Anyway, this definitely was an independent publisher, small press. And this is more like more recent vibes. Noah spends his nights drifting between North London pubs and music venues, and his days sleeping off hangovers in the stockroom of the floundering record shop where he works. After years away, his favourite band smiling politely announce a last-minute set in a nearby venue, and everything starts to shift. When the crowd turns violent, Noah runs into the street and meets Dylan, a charming local barman he's never had the courage to approach. And like stuff goes from there. I don't think it's going to be a very cheerful book, but that's fine. So yeah, this one sounds very me again. I love books about music. Have I mentioned that yet? Yeah, there is content warnings in here, so look out for that. It says depictions of self-harm, depression, and suicidal ideation. So yeah, so that's another one. That's only just about 300 pages. Just notice it's just a big black page, and there's some more writing. Yes, I like that it says a sweaty, sticky mosh pit of a novel. Oh, mosh pits weren't for me in my younger days. I'm too like, oh, get away from me. Like, I'm delicate. I'm not very delicate, but I don't get off me. Next prompt was gay book, and again I have a few options. These are two newish additions to my shelves. So we have Dance from the Dance by Andrew Holleran, and this was published in the 70s. Set in New York, disco, gay scene. What more do you need to know? And then we have Tales of the Suburbs, LGBTQ plus Lives Behind Net Curtains by John Grindrod. And this is a sort of like social history of queer families and couples and they're just day-to-day lives. I don't know when it starts. The last few decades, I guess. And yeah, these are both ones which I'd really like to read. But again, I could double up if I'm going to be naughty, which I may. I'm not sure yet. 2 more to go. So next we have Translated, and I'm going to read Are You Are, which is Rossum's Universal Robots by Carol Kopek, which is a short story, so I could do this one. And I mentioned in one of my shelf readers videos that I had read War with the Newts by him. Really enjoyed it. I wanted to read more, and that he popularised and introduced the term robots. So I feel like I should read that. And it's only Diddy. It's on my Kindle, so I can't physically show you, but I know it's short. But yeah, I'm looking forward to that. And the last prompt is sci-fi, and I'm going to pick up To Be Taught If Fortunate by Becky Chambers. I've only previously read A Long Way to a Small Angry Planet. I don't have it on my shelf, so I don't know why I'm looking. and I did enjoy it. It's quite. I thought it was a bit long, but I did really enjoy it, and I will continue that series. But this one again is small, and so I picked that one. Now the doubling up stuff, we could double up quite a few here. So timey-wimey, I could read. Obviously, This Is How You Lose Time War. I could also read The White Octopus Hotel. Gay book, I could read The Lady of the Lake as well because it's sapphic. Also, I don't know if to be taught if fortunate is gay or whether someone said that sort of like non-binary representation in it. I'm not sure. I mean, I could double up on quite a few of these. I'm going to try not to, but I'll be honest, it seems very likely that I will. And then there's a few books that so for example, I'm currently reading The Adventure of the Engineer's Thumb and Other Cases by Arthur Conan Doyle. These are short stories, so I'm not stressed about reading these. I just read one every so often when I'm in the mood. I usually read one a day if I can, but yes, I'm 100 pages into this, so that's a low stress sort of current read. Short stories, I like a short story. Next up is a buddy read with Caroline, and that's Interview with the Vampire. I started this a year ago. I got halfway, like nearly dead on halfway, and then I stopped because I had like decision making paralysis because I was pregnant. And so I paused a lot of books. So Caroline's reading it now, and I said I would join in. And so I don't really have, how much would I have left to read? About 200 pages. And so when Caroline is around that point, I will start reading it again. And I was really enjoying it. I put it down. And then the stupidest one I'm currently reading is The Count of Monte Cristo, which again is on this Discord. I mean, Caroline's on the Discord too. So this is Caroline. Actually, I can't blame her for The Count of Monte Cristo, but she is part of the Discord, so really it's her fault too. So a few of us are reading The Count of Monte Cristo. 2 chapters a day though, so it is doable. They're not very long chapters. And I'm about 75 pages in of like 1,000-page book. And so far I don't mind it. I've just sort of not really felt much for it yet. But it's early days. Maybe it will blow me away. I think I was just expecting to immediately be like, yes! But I sort of feel very little for him. But the last chapter I read, I did feel quite sorry for him. I mean, I felt sorry for him anyway, but like the sort of lack of care by characters causing issues for him is a bit like, well, okay, you're ruining this man's life for what? For what? But yeah, so I will be reading that, and I am enjoying it, but it does feel a stupid thing to do when I'm in a slow worm speed. But yes, so that I think is everything. Ambitious? Delusional? I don't know. A bit of both. So yes, maybe 9 books. I mean, really, I could be. Oh no, I've just forgotten one. I'm gonna be. A few of us on the Discord are also going to be starting Jonathan Strange. But again, a chapter a day, which has kindly been picked a chapter a day because of my a slow speed. And that's another big book. That's like 1,200 pages. What is wrong with me? Don't answer that. Don't answer that. But yes, so those are some of my books that I might read. Hopefully read. You know what, let's like, obviously big goal, I read 9. I smash it out of the park. I get a medal. There's awards named after me. I'm on the news. I get crowned queen of some small like principality. That's like, that'd be great. Realistically, if I could even get like 4 books read, I'd be pretty pleased. I'm not going to be finishing the Count of Monte Cristo this month because it's 2 chapters a day. I think it was worked out that it would be June by the time we finish it. Again, similarly with Jonathan Strange, that's 1 chapter a day. That's not going to be finished, so they're fine. But when you add on like 9, 10 potential books, even half, I would be quite proud of myself. Because I think in April, how many books will I finish in April? 1? Don't know actually, I can't remember. It might just be 1. I'll do it. You wait and see. My May wrap up is going to blow your socks off. Or you'll never see me again. So yes, that is everything. I hope you're having a nice day. What are you going to be reading in May? Are you more sensible than me, or are you also insane? And I will speak to you again soon. Bye bye.